Everyone, Alpha Eagle here again. Welcome back to my channel. I pray you're all doing well, and may God bless you all. Before we begin, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Well, I didn't think I would be making another video about these clowns so soon after my last video about them, but they said something so dumb I had to react to it. The whole thing started when James Gunn did an interview in which he used one specific word, immigrant. And even though the interview had nothing to do with immigrants, the left-wing media pounced on it as a chance to push their anti-Trump, pro-criminal, illegal invader narrative. They used Superman as a shield to guilt and shame people into believing their false narrative. They falsely claimed that if you like Superman, then you must hate Trump and what he's doing to these so-called immigrants, since Superman is also an immigrant. You don't want to be a hypocrite, do you? You don't hate them enough, because it's clear that they want to push a false narrative to divide people. Now the thing is that leftists conflate legal immigrants and illegal immigrants. They are not at all the same thing. But as usual, leftists are dishonest, and they use their dishonesty to build a straw man and purposely misrepresent our argument. Conservatives are not anti-immigrants. We are anti-illegal immigrants, and like Superman himself, we are anti-criminals and pro-law enforcement. Here is Occupy Democrats lying to their audience and pushing their false narrative. Let's see what they have to say about Superman.
Ryan Sinclair wrote, MAGA is ignorant of American tradition.
First, it's funny to hear the left talk about tradition, since they always go against tradition. They hate the nuclear family, they hate traditional American Christian values. Most leftists are either atheists or they practice some kind of non-Christian religion. They are always pushing non-traditional lifestyles like homosexuality. The leftists hate tradition. Second, regardless if Superman is an immigrant or not, it's not a key aspect of his character. It doesn't make him the man he is. What makes Superman the man he is that he was raised by a traditional, straight, white, conservative, Christian, American, rural couple. He was raised with American Christian conservative values. Now, even though he was born on a foreign planet, he wasn't raised there. So Superman is not like most immigrants. He wasn't raised in a foreign country. His first language is English. He knew nothing of his birth planet until he grew up. Krypton was actually foreign to him. The only home he knew was America. So to compare him to most immigrants doesn't make much sense, since he has virtually nothing in common with most immigrants. Superman is 100% American through and through. Now let's ask Superman's creators, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, what they think Superman stands for. Now, before I play the clip, how many people think that they say, well, Superman stands for a story of an immigrant, and being an immigrant is important to his character? And how many people will say that Superman stands for truth, justice, and the American way? Let's hear what they had to say.
So what could you say that you felt that Superman stood for, or stands for?
Well, exactly the motto that they've used on the television show, truth, justice, and the American way.
Those of you who said truth, justice, and the American way, you were right. I didn't hear them say anything about the importance of Superman being an immigrant, did you? Being an immigrant is completely irrelevant to Superman's character. Now let's continue with the ignorant liars at Occupy Democrats.
Superman has always been an immigrant comic book character, and immigration has always been an integral cornerstone of American society.
Immigration is not an integral cornerstone of America. Most Americans are not immigrants. Now, the left claim that white people are immigrants to America. Now, that's not accurate at all. Columbus came to the Americas in 1492. America was founded in 1776. So that means that white people have been here nearly 300 years before America was even founded. So how can white people be immigrants if we were already here 300 years before the country even existed? The whole idea that America is a nation of immigrants is nonsense. Now, what other lies does Occupy Democrats have to say?
Even Jesus is both refugee and immigrant. Comic books have always been woke.
I'm not going to go into how Jesus was neither a refugee nor an immigrant, but I will say that immigration laws didn't exist as we know them back then. And no, comics wasn't always woke as we know woke today. I'm going to show you images of Superman, and nobody on the left would call these images woke. So no, comics weren't always woke. Now what other lies does Occupy Democrats have to say?
And James Bennett posted, Superman has always been woke. It was
Pretty proven that no, Superman has not always been woke.
created by two Jewish writers who had fled persecution in Europe.
That's a blatant lie. No, Superman's creators did not flee persecution in Europe. Now let's check Wikipedia to find out where Jerry Siegel was born. Would you look at that? Jerry Siegel was born in Cleveland, Ohio, so he's not even an immigrant, let alone one from Europe. Well, that's just one of Superman's creators. Surely Occupy Democrats wouldn't lie about both Superman's creators, would they? I mean, Joe Shuster must have fled persecution. He must have took several months of traveling. He must have crossed several oceans and deserts. He must have traveled millions of miles. He must have had to learn English. He must have had to struggle to fit in. He must have fled persecution from the very, very far away, very strange, very exotic European country of Canada. You know, we all know that Nazi-occupied, Jewish-hating country of Canada. Joe Shuster made that long, long trek from Canada to Cleveland. Oh, it just took 4.5 hours. Okay, he could have made that move in about an afternoon. You know, what a surprise. Occupy Democrats lied to us. You know, what other lies do they have to tell us?
To co-opt the Nazi Übermensch idea with a Superman who punched Nazis.
Well, not really. The creation of Superman had nothing to do with the concept of the Übermensch. Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster both were mild-mannered, much like Clark Kent, but they wanted to be like Superman, and they had to make Superman physically strong because they wanted to be physically strong. And they wanted to be strong, well, to get women, and that's it. It had nothing to do with German socialists.
There was a lot of fantasization concerned because in the case of myself, like Joe, I was quite meek and I was quite mild, and there were attractive girls around who just didn't notice I exist and just didn't care at all, you know, for me. And I thought, gee, wouldn't it be great if I was a mighty person and these girls didn't know that this clod here is really somebody special. And
Superman did fight against the Axis powers. More often than not, he fought the Japanese and not the Germans. Yet again, the left would not call Superman encouraging violence against a racial minority as woke. So again, comics weren't always woke.
Superman is an immigrant. He is dedicated to truth, fairness, equality, and human kindness.
Again, Superman came from another planet, but America is the only country that he knows. And actually, Superman stands for truth, justice, and the American way. Leftists hate their American way. Just look at the polls. Leftists are ashamed of America. Now, I don't know where he got the other stuff from. I do know where he got kindness from. James Gunn used the word kindness to describe Superman. More on that later. But James Gunn did not create Superman. He only gave his interpretation of Superman. Superman's creators used the words truth, justice, and the American way.
He'd hate MAGA. That's what the
Superman would love MAGA. MAGA means Make America Great Again. And that's part of what Superman is all about. Again, the American way. Why wouldn't Superman want America to be great? Again, these leftists hate America. I mean, look at this guy's profile. You see a gay flag, you see a Ukrainian flag, but no American flag? I wonder why. Again, these guys hate America. Now, speaking of hating America, let's see what our friend Organized Chaos had to say about the whole Superman is an immigrant thing. He posted this meme that asks, since when is Superman an illegal immigrant? And the reply is, since 1938. Well, Occupy Democrats lied to us. Surely Organized Chaos wouldn't lie to us. Here's a panel from Action Comics 900 in which Superman renounces his American citizenship. So clearly, Superman is not an illegal immigrant if he's a citizen. I swear these clowns from Phantom Initiative have no idea what they're talking about. By the way, David Asgorio doesn't know Superman, since giving up his citizenship is not something Superman would ever do. Again, American way. Just like Spider-Man would not make a deal with the devil, and Captain America would never give up his title of Captain America and go by the name Nomad, these writers don't get these characters at all. And notice that the only reason that DC had Superman give up his citizenship and Marvel had Cap turn into Nomad is because that there just so happened to be a Republican in the White House at the time. Marvel and DC are much more patriotic when a Democrat is in the White House. Now, from one homo to another, let's look at what Variety asks the filmmakers of Superman on the red carpet.
You said it's an immigrant story. It's a political movie. MAGA today is going nuts. What do you have to say to MAGA?
Now, first off, this reporter is lying and strawmanning the MAGA argument. It's the left that took James Gunn one-time use of the word immigrant to push their agenda. Now, I haven't seen the movie yet, and for those of you who did, you can tell me, does the movie make a big deal about Superman being an, quote, immigrant? I'm guessing it doesn't. Now, regardless, again, the MAGA argument is that we want to deport illegal immigrants and have nothing against legal immigrants. But the left are the ones who conflate the two. Second, notice that the reporter is trying to goat James Gunn into saying what he wants. He wants James Gunn to say that he hates Trump and MAGA or something like that. But as you shall see, James Gunn is not falling for it.
I don't have anything. I think this movie's for everybody. I don't have anything to say to anybody. Like I'm not here to judge people. I think this is a movie about kindness, and I think that's something everyone can relate to.
I give credit to James Gunn. He didn't fall for the reporter's trap. In fact, he laughed in the reporter's face because he knows this is a trap. James Gunn was being very diplomatic, and he didn't say anything negative about Trump or MAGA because in this instance, James Gunn is being very smart. He wants this movie to succeed, and for it to succeed, he knows better than to piss off the majority of the country. And the reason why I say the majority and not half is that Trump's deportation policy is popular with the majority of the country, even the Democrats. But also notice that James Gunn is pushing the word kindness, and that seems to be the word that they were instructed to push. Now, let's see how Nathan Fillion handles the question.
James has said that Superman is an immigrant story, that it is political. MAGA today was getting a little upset that he called Superman an immigrant. I wanted to get your reaction.
Notice that the reporter lied again. James Gunn did not say that Superman was an immigrant story. He simply called Superman an immigrant.
Somebody needs a hug. It's just a movie, guys. It's just a movie.
Nathan Fillion laughs in the reporter's face. He doesn't fall for his trap. He didn't say anything negative about Trump or MAGA. However, he could have handled it a bit better. Regardless, at the end he reminds us that it's just a movie, and we shouldn't be taking it too seriously. Unfortunately, Sean Gunn's take isn't as good.
Boss, your brother, talked about Superman being an immigrant, and now MAGA is already upset that he's called Superman an immigrant. I wanted to get your reaction.
I don't blame Sean Gunn so much for his bad take, as yet again the reporter lied about MAGA. But let's hear what Sean had to say.
My reaction to that is that it is exactly what the movie is about, I think. That, we support our people, We love our immigrants. Yes, Superman is an immigrant. And yes, the people that we support in this country are immigrants, and if you don't like that, then you're not American. People who say no to immigrants are against the American way. They're against what the American dream is all about.
Truth, justice, and the American way.
Absolutely.
Now, Sean claims that the movie is about immigrants. Now, I guess he didn't get the memo from his brother that the movie is supposed to be about kindness. Now, again, feel free to tell me if the movie makes a big deal about immigrants. And again, Sean strawmans the MAGA's argument. We don't hate legal immigrants. We want to deport illegal immigrants who committed the crime of being in this country illegally. So, if Sean supports illegal immigrants, he's supporting criminals. And Superman does not support criminals, and it's un-American to support criminals. Now on to another homo, Eric debunks. Why are all the people on the left homosexuals?
Really hate that we exist in a place here in the fandom where something as basic as human kindness becomes controversial.
Well, Sean didn't get the memo, but Eric clearly did. Now, I wonder who gave Eric his talking points about kindness, or is Eric just parroting what he sees since he doesn't have a brain to come up with the original word to describe this movie?
About immigration because of how polarized immigration has become in the United States of America.
And immigration is not polarized in America. Again, the vast majority of Americans, both the right and the left, are in favor of deporting illegal immigrants. It's not polarizing at all, even though you want it to be.
But yeah, I feel like, in my mind, this reads to me like who Superman is at the core. This is who Superman is, like a foundational element of the character. So this doesn't shock me at all.
He claims that Superman is all about kindness. Now, he used the James Gunn talking point. And again, that's the James Gunn interpretation of Superman. But again, Superman's creators said he represents truth, justice, and the American way. I'm not saying that Superman isn't kind. I'm saying that that's not the key word that we should use to describe him. Now, Zack Snyder kept trying to push the word hope, and now James Gunn is trying to push the word kindness, and we shouldn't be listening to either one of them. We should listen to the Superman's creators who said truth, justice, and the American way. Not the foreigner way, not the immigrant way, the American way. By the way, Eric claims to be in favor of kindness, but is he really? I mean, his side is in favor of cancel culture, and that's not very kind. And his side is also in favor of terrorism through riots, looting, and is that very kind, Eric? I don't think so. Now, that's enough with these queers. Clarify MAGA's position on immigration to give examples of immigrants we like. Yeonmi Park is a good example. She is a woman who defected from North Korea. She came to the U.S. to escape communism, so she has a legitimate claim of asylum. She learned to speak English before coming over. She loves America. She loves capitalism. She hates communism, and she obeyed our laws to get here. And she assimilated to our culture. Also, she's not bad looking. Example is the white farmers from South Africa who are escaping white genocide and that Trump recently granted asylum to. They also speak English, love America, and obey our immigration laws, and hopefully they will assimilate to our culture. And Superman falls into this category of good, legal immigrants. English is his first language. His culture is American culture. He obeys our laws. He's a Christian conservative with Christian values. Now, I know people might claim that he was created by Jews, therefore he's Jewish. Wrong. He might have been created by Jews, but he was raised by Christians. And the most important part about Superman is he assimilated to our culture. Unquote immigrants that we don't like don't speak English, they don't obey our laws, they hate America, they wave the flag of their country while burning our flag, and worst of all, they don't assimilate. Those people are not immigrants, they are invaders, and they need to be deported. That's about it for this video. I'm Alpha Eagle. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. God bless you for watching. God bless America. And I pray that the fandom initiative stopped purposely conflating legal immigrants and illegal immigrants and got on board with us deporting all the illegal invaders.